I couldn't get it to share the video neither.
Why not? I got a notification.
It went up there, but I couldn't I couldn't share. I couldn't share you because okay. All right, now I got another notification. I went live again. Trying to get it to do right.
Oh, sharing it. Maybe
Ow!
not.
So you still ain't. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? See, mine didn't look like that. Mine still ain't that right.
You sure gotta say it.
Mine still
I'm
ain't
putting
doing
it in
that.
all of them, right?
Whatever ones you want to.
All of them. You still go to the original Juvenile page?
I got the controller. I got it. I got the control of it again.
I'm sure it in there too. You think anybody gonna be able to tell if I put it in Birmingham T-shirt?
Worldwide, Craig.
Hey, is it worldwide?
Worldwide, not just of the world, Craig.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I'm running around and see that thing.
I'm seeing y'all, right? Nigga, you even put it in what's in your plate?
Yep. Worldwide. When I said worldwide. Worldwide.
You gonna get a text from him, hey, this is an eat group. Watch, I guarantee you.
Hey, what can I say? I'm putting in home cooking Hebrews and everyone. I'm done.
They didn't ask me about not like it asked you now. They didn't.
What's happening in Jefferson County and Burn Island? Somebody gonna have a problem with it. Some of them is pending approval.
Oh, that's
those.
yeah. They trying to govern what's going on in their group and stuff. There you go. Now. I don't know why it take mine so long to do that though.
No, that like so many places. But
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shalom, Yashala. I'm Hayam Yahawadah.
Brother Khalil Yasharala.
And first off top, we give all honor and praise to Yahweh Bahashem Amakiah Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yashala. Shabbat Shalom. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Today's topic is going to be on flat earth and operations. Flat earth and operations. Because it's been far too long. Well, since the beginning of time, our forefathers have always believed in a flat earth. The principle and belief system of the flat earth only been around about 500 to 600 years. Shalakia. Again, the title today is going to be Flat Earth. I'm going to go through the scriptures as always. You will not hear from me, but thus said the Most High. I might do a few analogies to bring what seems to be hard understanding to a forefront of where it will be easily understood through the scriptures. And with that being said, John 8:32 states what? And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. One more time. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Kwam Yashala, Kwam Yashala. Nehemiah chapter 8:8 is my introduction.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Come on.
So they read in the book in the law of God distinctly, and gave the sense, and caused them to understand the reading.
Read it one more time for them, Op.
So they read in the book in the law of God distinctly.
They read what?
They read in the book of the law. They read in the book in the law of God distinctly.
They read this Bible, Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament. Come on.
And gave the sense.
They didn't cause them to be stupid like your Christian churches have, leaving all that fog in your noggin, man. You can't decipher scriptures after you done got something to eat and a short nap. You don't even know what the topic was that the pastor went over that day. Come on.
And caused them to understand the reading.
Because as a apostle or a prophet of the Most High, we are ordained to bring forth the sense of the scriptures. Just not read these things and then collect some money from y'all. And then and collect some money from y'all. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 10 now.
The book of Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 10.
Come on.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little.
The Apocrypha and the Old Testament.
And there a little.
In the New Testament, or vice versa, no matter. But today, to get the full understanding of this Bible, you can't read one verse like Pastor Porkchop and they do at the synagogue of Satan, what you call your churches, and get a full understanding of what the scriptures are talking about. This is how Christianity has fooled our people. They read the book of Galatians, where it said you'll be cursed if you're doing the law. But they must have didn't read Revelations where he said, John, to keep the commandments, and this is how you're going to get to heaven. Our people lost in the sauce, man. They will take any type of assessment to sin. They love that thing, in other words, man. But today we're going to go through precept upon precept, and we're going to show this topic about what is today flat earth. Come on. Romans chapter 2, verse 20 now.
The book of Romans chapter 2 and verse 20.
Come on.
An instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which has the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law.
Read it one more time,
An instructor of the foolish.
The instructor of what?
Of the foolish.
This is who Pastor Porkchop is in charge of. What do they call him, folks?
An instructor of the foolish.
He's an instructor of the foolish because he's not bringing out these laws, statutes, and commandments. He's telling you that the laws are did away with. Come on.
A teacher of babes.
A teacher of who?
A teacher of babes.
This is what Christianity raises out there out of the synagogue of Satan. Come on.
Which has the form of knowledge.
They have what?
Which has the form of knowledge.
It's something like the knowledge. It's the form, seem like, because they use the Bible. A lot of people think that they are actually coming out with real truth. Come on.
And of the truth in the law.
And it seems like they putting forth the truth but they omitting the truth that is the law. They omitting that thing. Read it one more time for me.
An instructor of the foolish. A teacher of babes. which has the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law.
Has a form of the truth and the law, not the real ones. It's not that we have to be able to be sure to be able to read these words properly and put them in their proper content. Without that understanding, a lot of people will be lost in their understanding of what's going on. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21 now.
The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21.
Come on.
Prove all things.
What did the Bible just say?
Prove all things.
What did the Most High just say?
Prove all things.
Because we have not proven that we stay on a spiritual planet, a ball of water floating around through space. We have not proved that thing. This thing was a new thing up under the sun. From the very beginning, we all knew that thing was flat, man. But now we've been told all of these other things. And what did the Bible tell us to do?
Prove all things.
So that's what I'm gonna do. Come on.
Hold fast that which is good.
That's what they got to say. Eat the meat, throw away the bones. That's what we gonna do today. We gonna throw away that garbage that don't make no sense, man. Come on. Read it one more time.
Prove the book of 1 Thessalonians,
right?
Chapter 5 and verse 21.
Bring that thing.
Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good.
That's right. Because we have been told lies to by this society, man. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. We've been told and instructed lies through all of their programs.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 20.
Come on.
O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
This is Paul writing to brother Timothy.
Avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called.
Read it one more time.
O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Keep that. Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and what thus said the Most High through these our forefathers, man, because these are pure facts, man. Come on.
Avoiding profane and vain babblings.
Avoid that stupidity talk, man, and stuff that end up not meaning much of nothing, man, at the end of the day. Then got your blood pressure all high, and at the end of the day, man, if somebody was to walk up, man, and you was talking to an argument with a stupid people, it make you look stupid. So avoid them type of conversations with these ignorant Negroes out here, man. Come on.
And oppositions of science falsely so called.
And the what?
And oppositions of science falsely so called.
He just called your science fake, man. The science that we have been taught here, man, is fake, man. It is not the original science that we are supposed to be learning. What we should be learning the laws, statutes, and commandments. What our forefathers went through. That would teach you every way in and out of what we needed, and thus the life we live in right now. We wouldn't need to have to go to the white man's knowledge, the white man's school to learn nothing, to get PhD. We won't have to learn that if we learned this Bible in the correct magnitude of what we supposed to. But we have been fooled. They have taken that element away from us. So we would have to depend on them people for food, water, clothing, everything that's going on. We depend on another nation, man. We supposed to get those things ourselves, man. But they done stripped that stuff from out of us, man. And for a long time now, we have been repeating the process, man. My parents done produced, and their parents done produced, and their parents done produced the same type of Negroes, man. We keep on coming out, and we depending on them to do for us, man. What we supposed to do for ourselves, man. And that's what we supposed to do. But presently, we are waking up and trying different things, man, that's going to get and reap us edification through our nation and eventually get us the kingdom. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8 now.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Come on.
Beware lest any man spoil you.
What did he just say?
Beware.
That means be cautious, man.
Lest any man spoil you.
Spoil means you mess around and get yourself destroyed. Come on.
Through philosophy.
Through what?
Philosophy.
Philosophies are not proven to be facts. Come on.
And vain deceit.
And vain deceit. Meaning more lies, man, because they will bring lies upon lies out, man, and ain't been able to prove nothing, man. Prove that this man has been out to outer space. Prove that thing. Please, somebody prove that thing. You cannot, man. You basing all your information on something that was told to you over TV, something they printed in the paper, but you can't prove that thing. First thing y'all need to do is understand a bunch of what's going on, man. If when they landed on the moon, who was taping that thing? When they touched down, who was taping that thing, man? This is the first time the astronauts ever been to the moon and touched down. We have landed. Who was taping that thing, man? They already had sent somebody there. Man, y'all need to understand. This is they need an Oscar. They need to be. They need an Oscar for playing our people for so long now. But we presently are waking up, man, and all praise to the Most High now. Read it again. Start from the top of it.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Come on.
Beware lest any man spoil you
Uh-huh.
through philosophy and vain deceit,
Come on.
after the tradition of men.
After who?
After the tradition of men.
The traditions of men and not what this Bible has said. Because you'll listen to any kind of philosophies that they come up with, and it ain't came from out this Bible. It came from who?
After the tradition of men.
Come on.
After the rudiments of the world.
After the who?
After the rudiments of the world.
Let's see who this world was given to. Job 9 and 24 now. Job chapter 9 verse 24. Yeah, we going straight on Job chapter 9 verse 24.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Come on.
Salaki, in verse 24.
Uh-huh.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
It's given to who?
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
So the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. We know who runs the earth today. He got posters in everybody's nations, man. This man is 180 something, right at 200 nations on the earth. But this man got 600 posts. That means he almost got 2 or 3 in every country, man. Y'all better pay attention, man. Read.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Who covered the face of the black Messiah and painted him white? He just told you who's in control of the earth right then, man. Read it from the top again.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Come on.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The wicked is just called the white man wicked. Come on.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
You might get to that part and not know what it's talking about, but read a little further.
If not, where and who is he?
Where and who else painted the image of the black Messiah white? Who else on the planet is white? So why would they we paint him white when y'all breaking your necks and about to knock the wind out your lungs, talking about I'm a king and I'm a queen? That's all y'all love to preach. So we know we ain't do that thing, man. It's the other nations, man, and the particular nation is the nation of Edom, Esau, Idumea. The same people, man. Don't get that thing twisted, man. Roman, the Grecians, they all the same people, man. They call cake. They all the same people. Do not let your noodles get fried in this particular area. All right, go back to Romans chapter 1, verse 25. Now read that thing again so maybe they get a better edification of it. Yeah, uh-huh.
The book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
The Bible just told you who changed the truth from the Most High into a lie. Come on.
And worship and serve the creature.
Yeah, I serve a creature. He just called the man the booger man. Come on.
More than the creator.
More than the creator. Come on.
Who is blessed forever.
Uh-huh.
Amen.
So be it. It's what the Bible just said, man. Go back to Colossians 2 and 8 now. I ain't sticking together, man. They don't want their truth to come out. All praise to the Most High.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8.
Come on.
Beware lest any man spoil you.
Well, how they gonna spoil you?
Through philosophy.
Through stuff that is not based on facts.
And vain deceit.
And they're gonna lie to you back and forth, man. And you ain't gonna have nothing to be based upon but what they give you.
After the tradition of men.
Come on.
After the rudiments of the world.
Come on.
And not after Christ.
And not after the Hamashiach. Because he came and told y'all a bunch of these things were going to come to pass. But we ain't paid attention to what he said, man. We just walking around whom. Man, we've been doing that for almost 2,000 years, man. It's 2018, man. It's time for our people to wake up, man, now. Do these laws and statutes, man, and let's claim this kingdom, man. That's what we got to do, man. If we stay in the present state we are, man, I'm trying to get me and myself and to make sure my children don't have to go through this thing, man. So I'm often going to do a whole bunch of whatever it takes to awaken my people right now. This is what we're doing. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16 now.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 16.
Because the lamb was given to the hand of the wicked. We just got that. He said, don't be deceived. Come on.
Surely you're turning of things upside down.
Now, you might ask yourself, who was what?
Surely you're turning of things upside down.
They turn everything upside down. Why they say the 7 days at the beginning of the week. The Most High said it was at the end. I done heard them break out of knowledge and saying, did you know Saturday used to be the first day of the week? The Sabbath day didn't follow a name, dummy. It always was on the end of the weeks, man. At the end of the week. The word week means 7. That's what you need to understand that thing, man. When you go through a bunch of books and different things, man, the knowledge and stuff will have you so screwed up in your noggin, man, that we presently have to it'll break you down, man. He said the reading of much books makes you weary. At the end of the day, man, you ain't learned nothing. What we need to do is put the foundation of all knowledge is this Bible. Once you truly have a hardcore discernment of these scriptures and whatever, it manifests itself, man. Plain as day. Read it again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 16.
Come on.
Surely your turning of things upside down.
The white man turned all of our noggins upside down in these particular areas, which we claim to be so smart. Come on.
Shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
He gonna break that thing in latter days. And so you see that y'all been following this right here when the Bible says,
for shall the work say of him that made it,
come on,
he made me not.
This is what the white man say. They didn't put they in a position to be gods, man. They acting like they the ones who creating all this stuff, and right now they are creating a bunch of wickedness. They did not create the trees, the sky, the oceans, and all. But if you leave it up to Beaver, he gonna tell you he made everything. Come on.
Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding.
So the house gonna tell the carpenter that he didn't frame the thing up. Man, get your garbage tail away from here. It's very plain. Matthew chapter 24, verse 4. Let's see what Yahushua said.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 4.
Come on.
And Jesus answered and said unto them,
what did Yahushua say?
Take heed.
Take what?
Take heed.
That means be cautious.
That no man deceive you.
That no man deceive you. We have been deceived here in America, man. They have pushed their doctrine on us for far too long. Like I said at the beginning, this spiritual globe thing is no older than 500-600 years old. We've been deceived in that area. We've been deceived to believe that Earth spins on its axis. Its axis is a tilt. And they tell you that's what creates your seasonal change. And it spins 1,000 to 1,500 miles an hour around in this particular one spot. We've been fooled to think that it rotates around the sun after spinning 1,500 miles an hour at 66,000 miles an hour. Come on, man. This junk is philosophies, man. Tell them to prove that thing, man. They cannot, man. They show you all CGI images and y'all say, ooh, ah, oh, y'all believe that garbage, man. I don't believe that bull crap, man. These folks ain't proving nothing, man. Then that the sun is 93 million miles away. When I done looked out there and admit the sun, man, and I done seen the clouds are behind the sun, man. How that happen if it was 93 miles away, man? That 93 million miles away, man. That ain't happen, man. They telling us lies, people. And it's time for us. And that the moon is roughly, all of these figures is roughly, don't pinpoint me to no exact number. The moon is roughly 235,000 miles away from here, man. But I didn't see the clouds behind and in front of the moon. The same thing. It's not what they telling us it is, people. We need to wake up out that thing. So we have been lied. Martin Baham and was born in the mid 1400s, 1459, and he died in 1537. But in 1492 is when he introduced this global thing to our people, man, and it's been going around ever since then. So we can see that from about 600 years or so now, give or take, you feel me? We've been around for, we've been going through this global stuff is what I'm getting at, people. This is not something that our forefathers knew. They knew that the earth was flat, man. Why do they do this? To get you to think that, and here goes the next one right here. The Big Bang Theory. When the last time you popped a firecracker and you saw little suns and planets start to evolve out that thing? Come on, I'm waiting on you. We ain't finna wait no longer. That's garbage, man. It's not happening. The big from chaos there became order, divine order. Man, that's garbage, man. They ain't proving nothing. So today we're gonna go through these scriptures and talk about the topic again. It's flat Earth and its operations. Let's get to Psalms chapter 93 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms chapter 93 and verse 1.
Come on.
The Lord reigneth.
He do what?
The Lord reigneth.
He's the undefeated champ, man. Bump what you're talking about.
He is clothed with majesty.
He clothed with what?
With majesty.
Let's get a better understanding of what majesty is. Come on.
The Lord is clothed with strength.
That's what this majesty is. His strength. Come on.
Wherewith he has girded himself.
What he did?
Wherewith he has girded himself.
He has did what?
He has girded himself.
Come on.
The world also established.
Is it what?
The world also established
Established.
that it cannot be moved.
Hold on. So the Bible say the earth does not move, but he done told you they turneth things upside down. It's going 1,500 miles and 66,000 miles an hour. Man, this man is baloney, man. We don't eat for swine. Throw that junk away. All of it. Psalm chapter 96, verse 10 now.
The book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 10.
Come on.
Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth.
They say amongst who?
Say among the heathen
Come on.
that the Lord reigneth.
That the Lord does what?
Reigneth.
Come on.
The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved.
The world shall be what?
The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved.
It shall not be moved. The scriptures keep saying the same thing. So how is it that we think that we traveling through space, like I say, 1,500 miles spinning around, and then 66,000 miles an hour around the sun? Check this out. I know all of y'all have been to the fair sometimes in your life, another man. It's a ride at the fair. I don't know that thing, but it be spinning. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? Man, that thing get up to about 60 miles an hour. It had you glued to the wall. Am I lying? Your face be like this. You be looking over at the brother hoping he don't throw up because it's going to hit you dead in your face, man. So if he's spinning at less than 100 miles an hour and it got you pinned to the wall, what the heck you think about 1,500 miles per hour, man? And then 66,000 miles in an even bigger circle. Man, check this out. If that was the knowledge that they wanted to give you, you would be able to look up in the sky. The stars would look like comets, and they'd be going at 360 degrees every which way, crossing each other. You wouldn't be able to see them, man. It would be, that's ludicrous, man. We got to really start thinking about what's going on, brothers and sisters, man. That's garbage, man. That is baloney what them folks been feeding us for eons. And it's time, like I told you, man, I'm finna break down everything that Christianity set up. And Christianity is one of the ones that set this global up for us. If you ask him what his religion was, he gonna say, oh, I'm a Christian. The police pull us over and blow our brains out. He be in court. They ask him what his religion is. I'm a Christian. These folks was killers when they brought their tail over here and killed our forefathers. They still killers now, man. Christianity is garbage, man. First Chronicles chapter 16 verse 30 now.
The book of First Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 30. Fear before him.
Do what?
Fear before him.
That's the way that you first get discernment and know about what keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to do for you. Come on.
All the earth.
All who?
All the earth.
Come on.
The world also shall be stable.
What it shall be?
The world also shall be stable.
The world has always been stable, man. It's not moving. That's this new junk in the earth. Come on.
That it be not moved.
I thought it was moving.
That it be not moved.
It goes 1,500 miles per hour.
That it be not moved.
But don't forget about the 66,000 miles.
That it be not moved.
And then it rotate around the sun.
That it be not moved.
Man, get the fog out your noggin today, man, because I'm here to wipe the server clean. I got some Windex with ammonia in that thing, man. Straight free. Psalm chapter 33, verse 9 and 8 and 9 now.
The book of Psalms chapter 33. Verses 8 and 9.
Come on.
Let all the earth fear the Lord.
Let them do what?
Let all the earth fear the Lord.
Come on.
Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done.
When he did what? What happened?
For he spake, and it was done.
When he spake, things popped into existence, brothers and sisters. Come on.
He commanded, and it stood fast.
What happened when he told the earth to do what?
He commanded, and it stood fast.
The earth is not moving, man. Y'all need to get that out of what your noggins, man. It is not moving anywhere. It stands fast. It ain't moving. It's waiting on the next order from the Most High. Y'all ain't running nothing is what the Bible just telling you, man. Psalms chapter 104, verse 5 now.
The book of Psalms chapter 104 and verse 5.
Come on.
Who laid the foundations of the earth?
He did what?
Who laid the foundations of the earth?
That's the question that a bunch of people who don't have real understanding of this Bible ask. Come on.
That it should not be removed forever.
That it should be what?
That it should not be removed forever.
Right. It's going to be still in the same way he put it up, man. So it ain't done been tore down and came back and now we got this rotating earth, man. That's garbage, man. It's still the same way that he set it up in the creation story. And we're going to touch on a little bit of that today, man. And brothers and sisters, you understand? We're going to touch that thing, man. Now the earth, That was going through the part about the earth does not move part. Let's look at the earth being a footstool now. What the scripture said about the earth being a footstool. Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 1 now.
The book of Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 1.
Come on.
Thus says the Lord.
Thus says who?
Thus says the Lord.
Thus says Yahweh.
The heaven is my throne.
What he said?
The heaven is my throne.
The third heaven is his throne. Come on.
And the earth is my footstool.
What did he call the earth?
And the earth is my footstool.
That's right, because he resides in the third heaven. What we at down here is the first heaven, people. Get that, understand that thing is what we need to do. Come on.
Where is the house that ye build unto me?
Where the house that you built unto him? Where is that? Come on.
And where is the place of my rest?
Because he said, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made by hand. So the Most High just asked you, so where the temple you built me? Y'all ain't built me nothing and I'm going to reside in, because he built us. That's where he at. We ain't built ourselves. That's what you need to know. Understand that thing, man. Matthew chapter 5, verse 35.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 35.
Read.
Nor by the earth, for it is his footstool.
Come on.
Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king.
Read it one more time for our people out there.
Nor by the earth, for it is his footstool.
The earth is the Most High's what?
Footstool.
Come on.
Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king.
It's the city of the great king. The great king. It started out with the kingship there. It started out with Adam. That's where he was made, and then moved eastward into the Garden of Eden. That's where it's going to end at for all of us people. We're going to be gathered back where it all began for us. Jerusalem is the mother of us all. Not Africa. Don't get that in out your noggin, man. Jerusalem is the mother of us all. That's what the scripture said. You know, we know Middle East is what Jerusalem is. It makes no sense. Middle East. But then they describe it to be Asia. That's western of Asia. What it means by being in the middle of all those continents that is around, east of what? Africa. The Bible is telling you, even the white man is telling you secretly that, well, we call Jerusalem Israel, is actually northeastern Africa. But even the Africans there do not subscribe to. They go by nationality. They say, I'm from Uganda. I'm from Nicaragua. I'm from this and that. They call that. They don't tell you I'm an African. They don't say that thing, man. The Asian people, even though we from the Asian continent, they walk around saying Chinese, Japanese, and whatnot, man. They don't subscribe to the continent. We the only people, and then we named after two continents over here in America, African Americas. Man, get y'all garbage, man. We need to wake up out that dream, man. Man, our people are going down the drain, man, at that same pace, man. But the thing is, we are presently waking our people up and returning to the folds again. All praise to the Most High for that thing. Acts chapter 7, verse 49 now.
The book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 49.
Come on.
Heaven is my throne.
Where's heaven at?
Heaven is my throne.
He's talking about the third heaven. Heaven is his throne. That's his throne room, in other words. Come on.
And earth is my footstool.
What is earth?
Earth is my footstool.
When you sit on the throne, you got a pedestal with your feet rest on. You might stand up, you still on your throne. Your first step after that is you step on your footstool. Read that again.
Heaven is my throne.
Come on.
And earth is my footstool.
Come on.
What house will ye build me?
What house will we build for the Most High? We ain't built nothing that he gonna reside in, man, because we full of wickedness, brothers and sisters. We can't do that thing in a righteous manner. Even our best intentions are garbage in the sight of the Most High. Even though we might have a good heart and discernment, man, that ain't what at the end of the day what's gonna matter. Man, we'll start out building a temple, then turn that thing into a nightclub. Our people wicked, man. We don't know no better, man. Then it's pitiful, man, but we trying to get the kingdom now. So, under my watching, you come around me with that sin, bro, I'm expose your tail. Straight up. 2 Chronicles, chapter 9 and verse 18 now.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 9 and verse 18.
Come on.
And there were 6 steps to the throne.
That was what?
And there were 6 steps to the throne.
Come on.
With a footstool of gold.
With a what?
With a footstool of gold.
What was the footstool made of?
Gold.
Uh-huh.
Which were fastened to the throne.
That was the what?
Which were fastened to the throne.
They was connected to that thing.
And stays on each side of the sitting place. and 2 lions standing by the stage.
The Most High got a bad thing, man. He got 2 big old lions on the side of that thing, man. Ain't you glad you from the tribe of Judah now? Got that. Now let's go into the pillars. The pillars, or you know, a chair or a table. Let's take that for instance. Now we got the image of a footstool first off. So a footstool is something that you can put your feet on. Because today I'm gonna erase that knowledge of that dome top and all of that out your heads. Now the scriptures do not come with a dome top. That ain't what the scriptures tell you. First thing I want to establish to you, we build our houses on rectangular and square bottoms. Am I correct?
Correct.
So what is the top of it? Ain't it the same rectangular square as the bottom? Correct.
Right.
Only the top to the bottom where causes the rain to run off of that thing. So if the bottom is the foundation is built a certain way, the top is going to hold that same shape. In other words, when we go through these scriptures, we going to see what this bottom of the shape is of the bottom. And we're going to read some scriptures that's going to confirm that the bottom and the top both looking alike. What we've been told about certain things of not what the scriptures are really bringing out. And no stepping on the answers and stuff. But like a bunch of places in this Bible, they explain the best they could given with what they had, because they hadn't seen the things that we have in 2018. But now a bunch of our people are waking up and seeing things and having an understanding of things in a better way and stuff. And it's all for the praise of the Most High. Let's look at now the pillars. These would be what you would call like we got a footstool. That's the image we going with now, people. A footstool being a square around, whatever it was, but they all have legs on them. In other words, legs. These will constitute as what the Bible calls pillars. Come on, Psalms chapter 75 and verse 3 now.
The book of Psalms, chapter 75 and verse 3.
Come on.
The earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved.
The whole, what he say?
The earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved.
Sound like the end of days to me, brothers and sisters. Come on.
I bear up the pillars of it.
He bear up the what?
The pillars of it.
He bear up the pillars of it. These are the foundations of the earth. This is what the like a foundation of a house. The pillars of the foundations of the earth. Job chapter 9 and verse 6 now.
The book of Job chapter 9 and verse 6.
Come on.
Which shaketh the earth out of her place.
He did what?
Which shaketh the earth out of her place.
This is that bad earthquake that we be getting. We get small ones around here, but in the end days, he gonna shake one, gonna shake so bad, man. Where your president was standing, you ain't gonna be in the same spot. Even though you might look like you ain't done move, on geographically with the little lines and stuff and all of that little longitude, latitude, you gonna be the move out of where your president was, brothers and sisters. Come on.
And the pillars thereof tremble.
And what happened?
And the pillars thereof tremble.
Because if you got this table, if the top is trembling, that means the legs are shaking as well. That's where it's stemming from, the bottom coming up more than likely, or when we have a tremendous impact on the top, it can shake the bottoms. 1 Samuel chapter 2 now, verse 8, yeah.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 8.
Come on.
He raises up the poor out of the dust.
Come on.
And lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill.
Right, from the doodle hill, in other words. Because we waking up, we coming up out there pleasant of being on the bottom, man. We called us, he said, what?
He raises up the poor out of the dust.
He raised us up out the dust, man, and our stupidity where we was lost at. He done raised us up now, come on.
And lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill.
He lifted us up from out of the dunghill, come on.
To set them among princes.
What he did?
To set them among princes.
We reclaiming our spots again, come on.
And to make them inherit the throne of glory.
And make them do what?
Inherit the throne of glory.
Come on.
For the pillars of the earth are the Lord.
What?
For the pillars of the earth are the Lord.
Even the things that we cannot see, they all belong to the Most High Yahweh. Come on.
And he has set the world upon them.
He set the world on what?
And he has set the world upon them.
Go back up to the pillar part and read down.
For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them.
We got the image of someone like I gave you description just to make it easy for the eye or person who. I'm an artist. I can see things and manifest things through words very easily. You can describe something to me and I can sketch that thing out in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it. I was drawing before I could write. All praises to the Most High. And this is a talent which I have become quite good at in my elder age. You know, whatever young man, whatever y'all want to say. You know, but I have perfected a lot of these things which people tell me, and I'm able to sketch it and bring it into real time. So this is how I was able to come up with what the earth and stuff looked like from out these scriptures, because I could see what the word were plainly saying after we precept upon precept. Job chapter 26, verse 11 now.
The book of Job chapter 26 and verse 11.
Come on.
The pillars of heaven tremble.
The what?
The pillars of heaven tremble.
Because if we got a foundation, the rest of the things are built on top of it, is what the understanding is. Really and truthfully, the first heaven resides from up under your feet until the spot where we know as the Van Halen belts. On the other side of that would be the second heaven, where the sun and moon resides. Man has not crossed the Van Halen belts. The radiation is too great there. Astronauts often tell them themselves, if you watch enough videos, they will tell you we have never left low Earth orbit. They will constantly keep saying this. We have never been to the moon. Obama even said, we are making a new machine that we can go to the moon, Mars. I thought we already been there, President. So people just ain't listening to what these folks are saying right in plain day in your face. But if you're paying attention to what's going on, the astronauts and everybody will tell you, man, we have never left low Earth orbit, which is the first heaven. The next heaven is the one with the moon, the sun, and the stars reside in. Third heaven is where the Most High sits on his throne at. Come on. Start from the top again.
The book of Job, chapter 26, verse 11.
Come on.
The pillars of heaven tremble and are astonished at his reproof.
Come on. We read about just then, we went over the pillars. Let's hear something about the corners of the earth now. Because to have a corner, you have to have something of a rectangle, square shape to have a corner. We all know that. We've been taught certain things in school, but a lot of things that we were taught, we did not go about on. After they have taught us, we don't use reasoning to come up with what's actually going on, because they told us the earth round. You go to the fair, get on this machine, but you ain't never thought about, well, if the world was spinning that hard, we'd be all. And anything that's spinning that fast, it throws all the objects to the outside of it. It would throw, if it was spinning that fast, it would throw all the water off Earth. You follow me? Mm-hmm. It would throw all the water off the Earth if it was spinning at 1,500 miles an hour. And then at 66,000 miles an hour, it would throw all your water right off of the planet, man. But we don't actually go through and think about those concepts that we've been taught. Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 12. Now we're going to pick up on hearing something about the corners of the earth now. Come on.
The book of Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 12.
Come on.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
He going to do what?
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
Come on.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
He's going to assemble them through this ensign. It's going to be a sign and a wonder that everybody, we are present, that don't even know what it is, but at that time, we're going to know what time it is. Going to be like, yeah, that's it. Come on.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah.
He going to gather together the what?
The dispersed of Judah.
We dispersed to the four corners.
From the four corners.
From where?
From the four corners.
Judah is in the four corners of the world, Craig.
Of the earth.
Of what?
Of the earth.
Of the world, Craig. And we going to be gathered together again. If they read that whole verse again for the people. Huh?
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 12.
Come on.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations.
The ensign is going to be zeal. When that sky unzip, crack open, however you want to say it.
And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
And when he gather all our people down to the great valley Jehoshaphat, man, he going to plead for his people, man, with these other nations, man. I'm trying to be standing behind him whenever he get the plan, because it's going to be like Alice in Wonderland say, the little wicked queen, off with your head. Your top going to be coming off in this thing, people. Revelation chapter 7, verse 1 now.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And after these things,
After what?
and after these things,
The great tribulation.
I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth,
Come on.
holding the 4 winds of the earth,
Uh-huh.
that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Read it again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Come on.
And after these things,
Uh-huh.
I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners,
On the what?
on the 4
On
corners,
the what?
on the 4 corners
Come on.
of the earth,
Uh-huh.
holding the 4 winds of the earth,
Uh-huh.
that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Right. So now we have the same image that we have some type of square format that's got corners on. I go into that later on. What verse that was? Revelation 7. Let's go to 20. Revelations 20 and verse 8 now.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 8.
Come on.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth.
What's Satan gonna do?
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth.
Where they at?
In the 4 quarters of the earth.
In the 4 corners of the earth. Because if you bust $1 down the middle, it's gonna be 4 quarters there. Come on.
Gog and Magog,
Uh-huh.
to gather them together to battle.
What they gonna do with these people?
To gather them together to battle.
Down to the valley of decision, known as the valley of Jehoshaphat.
The number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
The people that he gonna defend is gonna be numbered. That's what the promise that he gave Abraham, that his descendants would be more than the stars in the sky or the grains on the seashore. A number that they can't. That's why they always have a census. They can't number us, man. We too great in number for these people, man. Job chapter 37 verse 3.
The book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 3.
Come on.
He dissected, he directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth.
Read it again.
He directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth.
The ends of the earth. The ends of the earth. We often hear these things that have been said. Jump over to Job chapter 38 verse 13 now.
The book of Job chapter 38 verse 13.
Come on.
That it might take hold of the ends of the earth.
That he might do what?
That it might take hold of the ends of the earth. That the wicked might be shaken out of it.
Right. Job saying, I wish I could grab that thing and shake all them wicked Negroes up off that thing, man, and be left with just the righteous. So this lets you know that it was something to be gripped upon. The structure that was else there was not flat. It's like a deep freeze or something. If the square part of it made like the handles for you to grab upon and what's going on and what have you not. Let's continue on. Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 36.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 36.
Come on.
And upon Elam.
Upon who?
And upon Elam.
Come on.
Will I bring the 4 winds.
The what?
The 4 winds.
This is the 4 corners being represented from them angels that were standing at each one of them. Come on.
From the 4 quarters of heaven.
We hear that same thing. We just got them scriptures. Come on.
And will scatter them toward all those winds.
Right.
And there shall be no nation, whether the outcast of Elam shall not come.
Right. Daniel chapter 7 verse 2 now.
The book of Daniel.
That's right. Oh, we at Jeremiah. What you just read?
Nope, Jeremiah 4.
Okay. Daniel chapter 7 verse 2. Shalakia people.
The book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 2.
Come on.
Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds.
The what?
The 4 winds.
Come on.
Of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
Matthew chapter 24 verse 31 now.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 31.
Uh-huh.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet,
That's going to be that great sound, that's going to signify the next part to come. Come on.
And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds.
Right, because he said that the Most High was going to descend from heaven with a great sound. That's going to be that trumpet blowing and boom. That's going to be the baddest intro a brother that never had. Going to hear that wall, boom. He say a fire goes before him. That's going to be the baddest intro that anybody that never had. Come on.
From one end of heaven to the other.
Yeah, read it from the top again for him.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 31.
Read.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds.
Right, they're going to be like doves to windows. Come on.
And from one end of heaven to the other.
And we going to get us from all four corners wherever we've been scattered out. So we ain't going to have to worry about no transportation when that time comes. He says come out of her. He ain't mean get you no plane ticket. And when you think that thing we going to run, jump on a plane and get away from the Most High. He said the whole world going to be dissolved, dummies. Don't get that doctrine right there out your noggin, man. What you need to do, he say, deliver thy soul, man. Deliver your soul from what? The wickedness that America and these other nations have taught us, and we willingly follow behind. Do not do them things, brothers and sisters. That is what's keeping us back into this very day. Our forefathers broke the commandments will presently have us right here, but we can change that. If we stay in this predicament, it was because enough of us did not wake up. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 20 again to stamp this in your mind, because we done went through that thing. Come on.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 20.
Come on.
O Timothy.
Oh who?
O Timothy.
Read.
Keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called.
They science is fake, people. Read it again out for them. I just need that last part at the babbling.
And oppositions of science falsely so called.
Science is fake, people. It's plain. The Bible telling you that the white man's science is fake based. It's not real. They lies. They philosophies. The Bible is the only truth mechanism here that exists. With outside of it, everything else is garbage. Put it in the dumpster and watch and see it won't be if I bag up and get that thing. Matthew chapter 24 verse 4 again.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 4. And Jesus answered and said unto them,
come on.
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed that no man deceive you. No man deceive you. That's what we presently are going through. No man deceive you right now, people. We are trying not to be deceived, but our people have been deceived for far too long, and it's time for us to come back into the folds, man. Because on the outside, man, you're not inside heaven. Then you're not in the law, statutes, and commandment. You're labeled as naked according to this Bible when you outside of that thing. And it's time for us to clothe ourselves with righteousness, man, and regain that promise that our forefathers did when they were in righteousness. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17.
The book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, he
finna call them out.
To know how the world was made.
He knew how the world was made from the beginning of that thing. King Solomon wasn't no joke, man. He was able to see in the past, the present, and the future tense, man. He just told him he knew how what?
How the world was made.
But we presently ain't done read enough precepts to get to understand that. Hopefully, I done went through enough scriptures already to have you to start going, that is something to think about. But before the end of the day over, you ain't going to believe. If you pay attention to the rest of this video, you ain't going to listen to this video and at the end be still believing in no round earth, no globe. No, you're not going to believe that no more. Come on.
And the operation of the elements.
The operation of what?
The elements.
The sun, the moon, and the stars. The winds, how they operate back and forth, the going and coming up of the sun. And the Most High gave him all of that knowledge. Read it one more time.
The book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17.
Come on.
For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are.
He gave me certain knowledge of the things that are. Come on.
namely,
to
know how the world was made,
he knew how it was from the beginning to the end. Come on.
and the operation of the elements,
And the stuff that he put inside that thing, he let it be known to him. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. Now, we finna take a look now at the creation story and get a better understanding of how all of this fell together now. I brought out a lot of scriptures today. The earth don't move. We got that out your noggin. That let you know that the Bible says we not spinning. So I told you first that white man science is fake. According to the Bible, the earth does not move. He says it does. Remember, the turning of things upside down. Everything the Most High said, the white man taught us opposite of that thing. A footstool. What footstool? You know, the Bible describes the earth as a footstool. A footstool sits still. What footstool? You know, be rotating around the living room. You try to throw your feet up on that thing. He said it rests on pillars. So that means it had legs on that bottom of that thing, a foundation that it went to down up under that thing. What footstool? You know, you sit on the couch and that thing's still sitting on the floor. It got legs on it, pillars that sit that thing up and how it's supposed to be. I might not know everything, you know what I'm saying, but I know I'm looking at these scriptures and standing on what thus said the Most High. He said the earth had corners and stuff now. So it had corners to that thing too as well. Like I gave the introduction, it's like some handles on that thing because we finna go through now looking at the creation story and see exactly how it was set up. I'm going to let the Bible speak and every man be a liar. Come on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2.
Come on.
In the beginning.
When this was?
In the beginning.
So people that be talking about Kemet and all of this other garbage old belief system, they said it predates the Bible. It predates the Bible, but I bet you ain't predate this, dummy. Read.
In the beginning.
When?
In the beginning.
When?
In the beginning.
I ain't heard another book out there say this happened before the beginning or before God read that scripture in there. This happened right here. I ain't read that other book yet. Bring that to my knowledge, man. What did the Most High say?
In the beginning.
What happened?
God created the heaven and the earth.
This is the creation story when all things were brought into existence, man. Come on.
And the earth was without form.
And it was what?
Without form.
If you ever seen a blob, that thing will hit a certain man, it'll be without form. It'll hold any type of form. It'll be like a glass. You sit on the floor, it'll go flat. It's without form. Come on.
And void.
It was void. In other words, it wasn't even there. In other words, now, you feel me? Come on.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
And what?
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
The face of the deep. If y'all want to go into that thing, the face of the deep, what did it say? And Moses was on the ark and he went upon the face of the waters. Jesus walked on the face of the water. Them descriptions we can look in, but that's another lesson and stuff. I'm going to say some of them cookies. I ain't going to bring them all out to you right now. Read that thing.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
Now, how much y'all said, if you see me, you seen the Father. Meaning everything my Father do, I do. That's when he approached them walking on the water. He just gave you a description in the New Testament how the Most High was walking right here in the second thing. Read that one from the top again.
The book of Genesis. Verse 2 or 1, 2.
Read both of them again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2.
Come on.
In the beginning.
When?
In the beginning.
When did all this happen?
In the beginning.
Name me a book that outdate in the beginning. I'm waiting. Psych. Let's keep going.
God created the heaven and the earth.
Come on.
And the earth was without form.
Because the first thing you got to know, it couldn't have happened because the earth was what?
Without form.
It wasn't even here, man. If y'all try to bring out a book that did that, man, your doctrines is garbage. Come on.
And void.
And what?
And void.
It wasn't even nothing now.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Darkness was upon the face of the deep, man. Come on.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
Uh-huh.
Let's go down to verse 6 now.
Verse 6 now.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, let there be a firmament.
Let there be what?
Let there be a firmament.
What did he call something that he just made?
Let there be a firmament.
Let's stop right there. Hold what you got. Let's understand what a firmament is. Job 37, verse 18 now.
The book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 18.
Come on.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass.
And he said that would describe what?
Which is strong, and as a molten looking glass.
It's as strong as a molten. We know molten to be what? Lava, right? This is what iron and all of that stuff. What you need to get in your head, your noggin, is when a blacksmith creates sword, steels, and weaponry and stuff, he puts it over in a hot furnace and brings it to a liquefied state that he can work with it and bring it into a thing. So he said it was molten. He said that at one time it was in a state of being soft, and he formed it in the way he was saying. Now read it again.
The book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 18.
Come on.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky?
He spread it out the sky. He called it a firmament is what he called it.
Which is strong.
Which is strong.
And as a molten looking glass.
Molten looking glass. Molten, it goes into lava. When lava cools, it's a very hard material. Looking glass means it was able like a mirror to reflect you. Something like at the police station when they can look through one side, but you can't look through that side. That's the mirror that he set up because he said he sits upon and the inhabitants are grasshoppers, so he can see through, but we can't see through this or that way right there. That's what you need to keep in there. Keep these cookies that I'm gonna pass out to you. In a minute, you're gonna be able to put them together and stuff. Back to Genesis 6 now.
Genesis, the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
Strong, like looking grass in the midst of the waters. So this was the top of our water. He said go in the middle of that thing and make a firmament. Come on.
And let it divide.
Let it do what?
Divide.
Let it do what?
Divide.
Let it do what?
Divide.
That means it was a space put in that thing. Now, come on.
The waters from the waters.
The waters from the waters. And we're going to get another verse in that thing. Now, let's go to Job chapter 37, verse 6 now.
The book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 6.
Come on.
For he saith to the snow, be thou on the earth. Likewise to the small rain. And to the great rain of his strength.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. God thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend.
What verse that was?
That was 37.
Call it from the top.
That was the book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 5.
Read verse 6 again.
The book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 6. For he saith to the snow,
right, be
thou on the earth.
Come on.
Likewise to the small rain and to the great rain of his strength.
Right, that's where his strength is never in all the things that he created back here in Genesis. Job chapter 37, that was verse 6. Let's go to Psalms chapter 104, verse 3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 3.
Come on.
Who layeth the beams of his chambers in
Hold on, we said what?
Who layeth the beams?
The beams
of his chambers.
Hold on, wait a minute. So he said the firmament, he divided and put in the midst of the water. He just called them what right here?
Who layeth the beams?
The beams. So we got a beam. What do we know to look like a beam? When they building these buildings, they have very long iron structure that they call beams. They got this from the Bible. That's why they call them beams, because they knew that the Most High used beams, and they were strong as molten looking glass. Come on.
Of his chambers in the water.
What did he do with them?
Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the water?
Them same beams that we just read about. Matter of fact, let's go back and read it again for them. Genesis chapter 1, verse 6.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 6.
I want this to stay on your mind. Come on.
And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the waters from the water.
So he had some beams up there that he divided, and some beams at the bottom that he divided that thing. Understand that thing. That's the thing that we must understand. Let's go to Psalms 148, verse 7. Psalms 104, verse 7 now.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 7.
Right.
At thy rebuke they fled. At the voice of thy thunder they hasted away.
Right. All of that stuff. Psalms chapter 148, verse 4 and 6 now.
The book of Psalms, chapter 148, verses 4 through 6. Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens.
Read it one more time from the beginning.
Praise him, ye heavens
of
heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens.
And what?
And ye waters that be above the heavens.
Above the heavens. You can read it one more time.
Praise him, ye heavens
Come on.
ye heavens of heavens.
The heavens of heavens. There go two of them.
And ye waters that be above the heavens.
There go your third heaven right there.
Let him praise the name of the Lord,
Yahweh.
for he commanded, and they were created. He has also established them for.
He did what?
He has also established them.
Come on.
Forever and ever.
For how long?
Forever and ever.
Next week.
Forever and ever.
After the flood story.
Forever and ever.
After Hamashiach come.
Forever and ever.
Come on.
He has made a decree which shall not pass.
He made a what?
He has made a decree which shall not pass.
A commandment that shall not pass away, man. Yahweh Shai ain't do away with no laws, man. Psalms 18, verse 9.
The book of Psalms, chapter 18 and verse 9.
Come on.
He bowed the heavens also.
He did what?
He bowed the heavens also.
So check this out. If we got a top and a bottom, you got to have walls in that house, correct?
Right.
He did what to the walls?
He bowed the heavens.
He did what?
He bowed the heavens.
He didn't bow them like this right here. It would be uncomfortable to have a footstool that would be curved at the top. Your legs would stay falling off the side. He was talking about the size of that thing, man, because he told you he laid his beams in the thing. So he had beams at the top. He said to divide from the top, so that meant the space was in between them things. So the top was flat and the bottom was flat. It was not bowed. Now he said what?
He bowed the heavens.
He was going into the size of them things. He didn't bow the top like this. He bowed it back to itself like this. Come on.
Also,
Come on.
and came down, and darkness was under his feet.
That's right, the earth, because the land was given to the hand of the wicked. 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 10 now. Before we get over, you're going to know I know what I'm talking about, because the Bible going to say that thing. I ain't going to remix this story. The story going to stand as is.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 22 and verse 10.
Come on.
He bowed the heavens.
What did it just say again?
He bowed the heavens.
Y'all been thinking he done bowed the heavens like this, but you done forgot about that footstool. It would be uncomfortable to have your feet on a footstool that would be curved this way. Your feet would stay falling off that thing. Come on. But you ain't done missed that part where he say he laid his beams, two beams or something too parallel, and he said he made them divide the waters. Come on.
He bowed the heavens also.
He bowed them things. He bowed them this way. Come on.
And came down. And darkness was under his feet.
The same thing is saying over and over again. Isaiah chapter, Job chapter 22, verse 14 through 16 down.
The book of Job, chapter 22, verses 14 through 16.
Read.
Thick clouds are a covering to him.
What hide the Most High from us sin? Because my son asked me this question this morning. Because I didn't give him the Sabbath day lesson last night. I was kind of tired. There was a lot going on yesterday. So when I gave him this right here, my son raised his hand. I said, yes, son. He said, why we can't just look up there and see him? Read this.
Thick clouds are a covering to him.
That's why we can't look straight up there and see the Most High. Thick clouds are a covering to him. Come on.
That he seeth not.
That he seeth not. We seeth not. We can't see him. Come on.
And he walketh in the circuit of heaven.
He walketh in what?
In the circuit of heaven.
How did the Most High walk?
And he walketh in the circuit of heaven.
A circuit, a definition of a circuit is a roughly circular line. Movement that starts and finishes at the same spot. Just like I told you, man, the bottom and the top gonna be aligned, because we're gonna get some more of them scriptures in just a second, man. The top is round, and you might be scratching your noodles. I know, sound, but before the day is over, man, you're gonna understand what this Bible is talking about, man. Come on. In the circuits of heaven. Remember that thing? He walks in the circuits of heaven. In the circuits of heaven. A circuit is something that starts and completes at the same time, forming a ruffled circle. What the definition just said. Come on.
Hast thou marked the old way which wicked men have trodden?
They done marked the old ways that wicked men, because they the one taught you about this round globe bull crap, man. That ain't what this Bible been teaching us from the beginning, man. Get that out your noggin, man.
Which were cut down out of time.
They was cut down out of time. They tried their interception with your brain, man, and they running the other way with that thing, taking you against what the laws of the Most High done said, man. Come on.
Whose foundation was overflown with a flood.
It was overflown, but the foundations was what?
Overflown with a flood.
Right. He telling you the bottom was overthrown with a flood. Now let's go at Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22 now.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40, and verse 22.
Come on.
It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
He said it well.
It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
A circle and a sphere is two different things. I should have had brought out some misses. The word sphere is also in this Bible. They knew what a sphere was. It's he that sit upon the circle. He sit upon the circle. So he sat on top of the other one. Say he sat in the circle of heaven. He sits in the middle of that thing. His throne room and everything is on top of that circle, man. Read.
And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers.
He looked down from his throne room, man, and it, which is down to his footstool, through his footstool. He see the inhabitants. They look like what?
And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers.
Come on.
That stretches out the heavens as a curtain.
He did what?
That stretches out the heavens as a curtain.
He used to stretch that thing out as a curtain. It ain't nothing that you can go to. It's something that you look at.
And spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in.
To dwell in. You can't go outside that thing. So when they say we've been to outer space, them folks lying to you, man. Psalms chapter 19, verse 6.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 6.
Yeah, we finna work on your noggin here. Y'all better pay close attention because it's gonna get. I'm gonna start picking up the speed a little bit, maybe or not. But I'm gonna make sure that this understanding of what we stand in, this firmament ecosystem that's been described throughout these systems. You're gonna know that thing, man. Come on.
His going forth is from the end of the heaven.
It's what?
His going forth is from the end of the heaven.
Come on.
And his circuit unto the ends of it.
Is what?
And his circuit.
The circuit again, a rough little circular line movement that starts and finishes at the same spot. If he bowled that thing like this, they didn't start and finish at the same spot. When he bowled that thing like this, they go and start at the same side. This is the side. He telling you that the top was like this. And when I told you that the sides were bowled this way as a round, it gives you the image of an upside down glass and whichever. That's the same side. This is what you need to have in your noggin, man. This is what he done made when he said I made the firmament. He made the top flat and the bottom flat. Then the sides were round, man, because the top was round. He said, I'm going to finish circles of heaven. The foundations of that thing is circular on the outside, too. It's very clear throughout these scriptures. Come on.
And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof.
And ain't nothing been hid from us. If you go into these scriptures, man, and you ask for discernment, start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, he make the wise simple, man. All of them things that were hard to figure out, man, he'll break them things down smaller than syllables, man. Make that thing easier to digest than baby food for you.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 1.
Come on.
The heavens declare the glory of God.
They done showed the work that he done did. The man, Operation Fishbowl, they tried to shoot missiles up there from all the continents, man, and bust that thing. They didn't put a scratch on what the Most High done built, man.
And the firmament showeth his handiwork.
The firmament showeth his handiwork, man. That thing hard as looking glass. You cannot crack it. Because if it was up to these dumb Negroes, man, we've been destroyed already. Because they were shooting missiles up there. That's when you had all that acid rain back in the gap, man. Them folks look up Operation Fishbowl again, people, if you think I'm lying. Operation Fishbowl. If you want to look up something else to let you know about the earth being flat, Operation High Jump. When they went to what you call Antarctica, is actually the outside of this thing that keeps the water in bounce. We're going to get a few scriptures on that thing, and I'm going to bring that back up, so keep that in there too. Come on. Genesis chapter 1, verse 9 now.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 9. And God said, let the waters under the heaven.
Hold on, wait a minute. He said what?
Let the waters under the heaven.
Let the waters under the heaven. So what we're looking at is a heaven that stayed above us. He said the waters under the heaven. So we finna go into what was going on with the waters. Come on.
Be gathered.
Be well.
Be gathered.
Do what?
Be gathered.
Come on.
Together unto one place.
And how many separate places?
Unto one place.
Into one place. Let's find out about this one place. Come on.
And let the dry land appear, and it was so.
Okay, so now let's find out about this water. We need to get the understanding about this water gathered together in one spot. Job chapter 26, verse 10 now.
The book of Job chapter 26 and verse 10. He has compassed the waters with bounds.
He did what?
He has compassed the waters with bounds.
I forgot my compass in the house. Y'all, Shalaki, excuse me and everything. But a compass is set up like this right here. A compass, the root word of compass is compass. What you use a compass to do? Draw circles, man. Come on.
He has compassed the waters with bounds.
Okay, the word compass means to go around something in a circular course, surrounding or enclosed on all sides. The Strong's calls it a circle. What do you use? The root word of compass is what? A compass. To do what? Draw circles. On what? A flat piece of paper. It's simple, man. These don't make this thing hard, man. Our people need to wake up out of their stupidity, man. Come on.
Until the day and night come to an end.
Until what?
The day and night come to an end.
Because in the end, they say the moon gonna be blackened and the moon, the sun and the moon will no longer give their light. It's gonna go back to how it was in Genesis, the first chapter before verse 14, when it was lit up and plants was growing and it was using the light of the Yahushua, man, to grow. Because that was verse 11. Because verse 14 is when the sun and stuff goes. So how was the plants and stuff growing in verse 11? They was using Yahushua, the light that was coming off of him, the Most High Sun, man. That's what they was doing, man. So it's going back to that same extent in the end, man. Joshua chapter 6, verse 3 now.
The book of Joshua.
Because we finding out about how that water, it was gathered into one spot. He made a circle and put it within the circle. The outer edges of that circle are telling you that it's not what we've been told Antarctica is a lie. There is no continent called Antarctica. Antarctica is that Iceland that they show you, and it's got a 200 to 300 feet hike incline. Operation High Jumper to show you that thing. They will tell you that they sailed on the edge of this ice incline for over 60-something thousand miles, and they never seen a beach. This is the front that he put up to keep the waters. He said, I have set the bounds with the water with bounds. The water cannot go over that incline, and the waters don't get, he made on your beaches. He told the water, this way you come, unless a hurricane or something else come, or a tsunami, something like that. But the waters, if you always see the water coming in, the water should take over. Am I lying? Mm-hmm. But see, it does not. But this is what we need to know. The Most High said it with bounds. The bounds here is the beachfronts that we see, and the other bounds was what we know to be Antarctica. It is not a continent. It's the outside rim, a round circle that keeps the water from spilling over the side. Because a lot of y'all been saying, well, how water stay on that thing? That's how it stays on that thing, man. I had a demonstration. I forgot that too. I did a demonstration in front of you. I had the tub of water with the cup, and I put the tissue on there, and I engulfed it in the water. But when I brought it back out, the tissue was still dry. I should have had both that thing out here. Shalaki, y'all forgive me. I'm going to do a thing on that too one day for y'all and bring that out to you and everything. I might, after I do this, go in there and get it set up and come and do another little short video on that particular piece. Come on.
The book of Joshua, chapter 6 and verse 3. And ye shall compass the city.
They gonna do it. So now I went here to show you about the word compass, showing you that it means a circle in the Bible. I don't have to use no Strongs or no cipher books and stuff to break down scripture. I'll precept upon precept that thing and show you what these scriptures mean. So I went right here to Joshua to show you what the word compass means. What did he say?
And ye shall compass the city.
You shall compass the city, meaning surround the city, man. Come on.
All ye men of war.
All ye men of war. That's what we are.
And go round about the city.
What should we do?
And go round about the city once.
Go round. So it's letting you know around, like this right here, around the city. How many?
Once.
That's all it takes to draw a circle. And he bowed the heavens once. It's been set up that round because of the bottom. Notice that thing. He said he compassed he compassed the water with bounds. That's a circle at the bottom that he did. The root word of compass is a compass. He used the compass to make the round circle. He said he'll walk in the circles of heaven. That made the top round. So what would the size naturally be if the top and the bottom are round? Round. He bowed the heavens. He didn't bow them this way. He bowed them this way. And so in other words, in your mind, you would have a flat something with four corners. Would look like upside down glass on that thing, people. I'm gonna do a demonstration. I'm gonna come back live after I do this and set up a demonstration and bring it back out to you and shock you with what I'm gonna bring out to you because you ain't seen nothing like it. Come on. Job chapter 38 verse 25. Now
the book of Job chapter 38 and verse 25.
Come on.
Shalom. Who hath divided a water course for the overflowing of waters.
So why want the water? Because a bunch of y'all, that was your next question. How the water just ain't overflowing the beaches and all of this all the time? What did the Most High do?
Who has divided a water course?
A what?
A water course.
The water go through a course. We're going to learn more about this course that it goes through. Come on.
For the overflowing of waters.
And it keep the course that he calls it to go through. He telling you, stops it from doing what?
For the overflowing of waters.
It keeps it from overflowing, people. Come on, now we finna go. That was it.
Or a way for the lightning of thunder.
And it's also a way for the lightning and the thunder. They work together, but two different things, though. Ecclesiastes, verse 1, verse 7. We finna show you about this. Now I'm going to ask you a question. But the Most High going to ask you a question through the scriptures. Come on.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 7. All the rivers
run
into the sea.
Run into the sea.
Yet the sea is not full.
The sea ain't full. How come that thing ain't running over? Because he just told you. He devised a water course for the water, to keep it from running over.
Unto the place from whence the rivers come.
From the same place that they flowed from where they started at.
There they return again.
There they return again. So the water flows down out the river into the ocean. It goes down up under these underground water caverns and spiritual through a spring and comes back out where it originally started at, making a circle. It's the scriptures constantly tell you that all of this stuff is on a recycle circle. That keeps it from, that's the water course that keeps the water from overflowing. The scriptures is very plain. They show everything. I bring out all the cookies out this book. I ain't trying to hold nothing back for my people. I'm trying to edify y'all so we all know how these things work and go about and what have you not. So the water flows out the river into the ocean. The ocean holds the water, but somewhere around that thing, it leaks into underground caverns and stuff and goes back to where it came from. Read it again. It wasn't just me saying that. The scripture said that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 7. All the rivers run into the sea.
Come on.
Yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again.
Job chapter 38 verse 16.
The book of Job chapter 38 and verse 16.
Come on.
Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea?
Have you did what?
Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea?
He just told you the springs of the sea. That's what's causing the water at where they came from to run down into the into the ocean, and then they go back to where they came from. Ready? Read it again.
Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea?
Come on.
Or hast thou walked in the search of the depth?
Oh, you ain't been able to go down there and to see what the Lord, because they got water in the bottom of the ocean. They say they can't even take a submarine down on that thing. It bounces the submarine off of that thing. They call it black water. It's located on the sea floors around the world, man. It ain't nothing that's been hidden from us for real. Genesis chapter 1 verse 9 and 10 now.
The book of Genesis chapter 1 verses 9 and 10.
Come on.
And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place.
Into one place. How did he do that? I compassed the water with bound. Root word of compass, a compass. He used a compass to draw a circle, and that's what he kept the waters in bounce with. So right now, if you could go up and you could see that the oceans and everything that was in, we would be in a massive circle, people. They know that thing. They just keeping it hidden from you because they don't want you to believe in the Most High Yah.
And let the dry land appear.
Let what?
And let the dry land appear.
Come on.
And it was so.
And it was what?
And it was so.
Because we read another verse say when he spoke, things came into existence. Come on.
And God called the dry land earth.
He called it what?
And God called the dry land earth.
Yeah, come on.
And the gathering together of the waters.
The what?
And the gathering together of the waters. Come on. Called he seas.
They call it, the Most High calls all your oceans and stuff. I'm talking about all your water, man, seas. But the white man said, no. We gonna name that thing oceans. It sound better to me.
And God saw that it was good.
He saw that thing was good, man. Psalms chapter 104 now, verse 5.
The book of Psalms chapter 104 and verse 5.
Read.
Who laid the foundations of the earth?
Who laid the foundations of the earth? We know that when he said, I put my beams in the water. That was the foundations of earth right then. Come on.
That it should not be removed forever.
And it's been the same way till now today, man. But NASA never a straight answer. And in the Hebrew tongue, it means to deceive. That's why they got that snake tongue on that thing up there live in your face, man. But we don't know what's going on because we won't read nothing. We'll sit there in front of that TV with the remote control, find something on that thing and be up there, ooh, all doggone day, but you ain't never proved nothing. Then listen to a bunch of philosophies, man. And at the end of the day, is what it add up to. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 4. One generation passes away.
One pass away.
And another generation cometh.
Another one coming.
But the earth abideth forever.
The earth abide forever. It's been the same way forever. It has not stopped. It's been set up in that thing, man. We must know that thing. Understand that thing, man. But what we done did is listen to this man tell us about how the motions in the oceans and all this junk go, and we done got us baffled out your noodles, man. We're gonna skip them next few, like you said. Let's go to good for Job.
38 and 4.
Right.
The book of Job, chapter 38 and verse 4.
Come on.
Where was thou when I laid the foundation?
What did the Most High just say?
Where was thou when I laid the foundation?
What did you Most High just say?
Where was thou when I laid the foundation of the earth?
Come on.
Declare, if thou have understanding.
Declare that thing if you got understanding. Where you was at now? This is the Most High talking to Job. He said, where you was, brother? When I laid these foundations of the earth down, where you was? We wasn't in existence. So the white man then came up with his own story. He asking him, where was you when I laid this thing? So how you came up with this lie that they pushing, man? We presently believe the creature more than the creator. Plain and simple. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 5 now.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 5.
Come on.
For this they willingly are ignorant of.
They willingly, because you ain't looking for no gratification or edification in none of these errors. You sit back and comfortably understand and believe what this man is telling you, man. This man is the deceiver, man, the devil, man. Come on.
That by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
Because those are your pillars, standing in and out of the waters, what the scripture just told you, going into your pillars that go down up under that thing, man. Joshua chapter 10, verse 12 through 14 now.
The book of Joshua chapter 10, verses 12 through 14.
Come on.
Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel.
He said in the sight of Yashala.
Son.
What?
Son.
Come on.
Stand thou still.
Hold on, wait a minute. He told the son to do what?
Stand thou still.
Hold on, I thought we was already taught that the son was standing still. So that means this junk is bull crap they've been teaching you. Joshua said what?
Son, stand thou still.
So presently it must have been moving. This is what the Bible teaches, but the white man always didn't taught you that the sun was standing still, proving his doctrine to be a doggone lie, man. Come on.
Upon Gibeon.
And then he laid the place over which it was. He told it to stand still. Come on.
And thou, moon.
So the moon does the same thing as the sun. It the one moving. It ain't sitting still in the middle of the sky, man.
In the valley of Ajalon.
And it was over a particular area in which he could impress our forefather Joshua. He knew that thing, man. He knew where it was, man. We've been over here in America. We don't know nothing. All we've been doing is taking prescription pills, getting dumber.
That's not fine.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 5. Man, they done rock you to sleep, man. They done change your pamper and gave you a bye-bye. You're nighty-night now. Man, we need to wake up out this bull crap, man. Or reap the pits of hell, man.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Come on.
The sun also ariseth.
The sun does what?
The sun also ariseth.
Now let me tell you this, because y'all want to be smart Negroes. I was finna go and tell you something else. Y'all want to be smart Negroes. Y'all will say all of this right here, but you ain't never done thought about how you see our perception of things. It goes the closer it gets, or farther away from you it gets. it gets smaller. Meaning from if me and the brother was standing around watching a brother that was just as big as my brother walk that way, he would get smaller, 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 smaller on a flat plane. And he would walk out of sight. We couldn't see him with our natural eye. But if you could pull up a camera, you'd be able to zoom right back up on top of him as if he was just standing right there. Our eyes seeing a perception of going down right here. So even though the sun starts really being over the top of us, as it starts to set, it gets farther and smaller away from you as it gets farther from you. This tree is closer to me. Thus the sun goes behind that thing, man. That's all that's happening. We call it sunset, but the sun ain't never came out the sky yet, man. But they got to think of watching cartoons, going to school. Man, we ain't understand nothing no more, man. It's all fictitious bullcrap. We need to get that thing out of our noggins. Come on.
The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down.
The sun does what?
And the sun goeth down.
It comes up looking small as it gets bigger. Noonday it's at its biggest, and then it goes behind us, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller till it drops behind this tree or these trees that's right outside of my house or somewhere right there. It makes it look like it's set, but actuality it just went out of my sign of sight, man. Because we see the farther away something is, the perception of how we see gets smaller and smaller and smaller till it meets, man. We call it a horizon. Come on.
And hasteth to his place where he arose.
Read it one more time. It said it went back to the same spot that it came from. That means it's doing circles too, man. Come on.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Come on.
The sun also ariseth.
It came up.
And the sun goeth down.
It went down over there.
And hasteth to his place where he arose.
It went back to the place that it came from. The sun doing circles, brothers and sisters. The sun doing circles, not us. The sun doing circles. The same way in this chapter I just brought out, the water doing circles, man. I brought out of them, he say one generation go up and one generation come, but the earth by them. He telling you that man also doing circles in this thing. The book of Ecclesiastes was giving you that he's teaching about reincarnation, man. You ain't coming back as your no dog, tree, cat, bug, lizard, roach. You coming back as a man. And it tells you that you're coming back as a man. That's another lesson topic right there. But know that thing, man. This whole first part of Ecclesiastes is talking about things doing circle. It named the man, it named the water, and it named the sun right there. And it also gave the wind. I think I'm going to touch on that verse. If I did, the wind goes in circles. The sun goes in circles. Man goes in circles. All of this stuff, we go in circles, man. That's the way it was set up from the beginning of that thing. Remember, Joe? Was you not there with me when I set up the foundation of that thing? No, because he set everything in motion, man. That was it on that one?
Genesis 19.
Come on, Genesis chapter 19, verse 23 and 24 now.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verses 23 and 24.
Uh-huh.
The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
That was it. Read it with 23 again.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 23.
I'm in Genesis or something.
Mm-hmm. The book of Genesis.
Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 23.
Uh-huh.
The sun was risen upon the earth.
What did he just say? Because that's what I brought up this scripture for.
The sun was risen.
Because y'all presently look like the sun rises up into the, but it doesn't. It just comes within our eye range. That's what happened. But in our, what we call is the sunrise. That's what we call it. Amos chapter 8, chapter 8, verse 9 now.
The book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 9.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass in that day.
When?
In that day.
Come on.
Saith the Lord God.
Says Yahweh the Elohiram.
That I will cause the sun to go down at noon.
He gonna cause the sun to go down at noon. Come on.
And I will darken the earth in the clear day.
In the clear day, in the middle of the day. This happened on what we knew to be the crucifixion of Yahushua. That was one description of the latter times when he comes back to save his people. But he said the moon shall be darkened and the moon and the sun shall no longer give her light. This is what he was talking about in the scriptures here. Same thing that we gonna get again. He said I'm cause it to go down. I just bought that word. The sun has always been listed as moving. And never sitting still, as what we have learned in our history books, science books, from a bunch of heathenist nations telling us a bunch of lies in an attempt to hide the Most High Yah from us, knowing that he existed. That's why we have so many atheists. That's why we are killing each other in our communities, because we do not see Christ in our brethren. If we were to look at our brethren as Christ and see the Christ within each one of them, we would not, the murder rate would not be as it is, man. If we were to have our true, what was promised to us in the beginning by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, we presently wouldn't be out here killing and stealing to get in certain categories and stuff. A bunch of it comes from greediness, but at the same time, man, a bunch of our people feel like they should have more. And when I was worldly, I could relate to what they were doing, even though I did not stoop to those monstrosities of what they did. I just know how to get it without doing all the bull crap. But some people, everybody ain't the same. But again, we've been taught lies here, and that's what got us in the way that we are today. Come on, we still got a few more here to go.
The book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 31.
Because I got a couple nail hitters right here. If you still ain't got that the earth is flat after this right here, I got a few more verses coming up down here that I really broke all the way down like applesauce. Your children gonna be able to understand that thing, man. I'm gonna bring out all the little definitions of the word and make it see and make it, you know, like me. I put a little crack joke in that thing. I don't know where them come from time to time. I don't mean to be funny, it's just my personality, how I go about things. But the spirit is always gonna flow in a manner that I'm gonna bring out the truth no matter what. So where we aim on Judges, Judges chapter 5 verse 31. That's correct. Come on.
The book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 31.
Bring that thing out.
So let all thine enemies perish, O Lord, but let them that love him be as the sun when he goeth forth.
Hold on. The sun when he does what?
When he goeth forth in his might. And the land had rest 40 years.
Remember the sun had did 40 years. Come on. Let's go to the next one. Job chapter 37 verse 21.
The book of Job chapter 37 and verse 21. And now men see not the bright light which is in the cloud.
They see what?
And now men see not the bright light which is in the cloud.
Where is that?
Which is in the cloud.
It's outer space.
Which is in the cloud.
It's 93 million miles away.
Which is in the cloud.
The Bible just told you it's in the clouds, Dodo. They're not breaking down this Bible, or you could not be fooled in these areas, man. Come on.
But the wind passes and cleanses them.
And the wind passes and they on to something else. Being a dummy again. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 24.
The book of Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 24.
Let me sit up because I'm finna break these down for you down like baby sauce now. Come on.
Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretches forth the heavens.
That did what?
That stretches forth the heavens.
Something that you stretch is very long. Come on.
Alone. That spreadeth abroad.
That did what?
That spreadeth abroad.
That did what?
That spreadeth abroad.
That spreadeth. I done stretched it, then spreadeth abroad. Now check me out. The word spreadeth is the primitive, when you're strong, look it up in the Strongs, or in your Google that thing and stuff, a primitive root. To pound the earth as a sign of passion. I mean, he loved that thing, man. He loved making the earth. To expand by hammering. So he made a flat earth. This is what he's telling you. By implementing to overlay with sheets. What is a sheet? A flat piece of paper. A sheet of metal. To beat, make broad, span abroad, forth, over, out, into place. What is a plate? A round, flat object. This is what the Bible teaching that thing. To stamp. To what? To stamp. To do what? To stamp. We're going to get more about that. And the stretch. Come on. That was it on Job chapter 38 verse 14.
The book of Job chapter 38 and verse 14.
I told you I'm going to hit you in your stomach with these scriptures. Come on.
It is turned as clay to the seal.
We turn what?
It is turned as clay.
The clay, that was the same lump of clay that he made man out of. He made earth out of that thing too. He said the lump, it was turned, meaning it changed from that lump that it was
as clay to the seal.
As to the seal, a signet ring. And when you look it up in the Strong's, it's going to tell you that right there. When you know the king set the letter, he would pour the wax or the clay right there, and he would put that signet ring on that thing. Read it one more time.
The book of Job, chapter 38 and verse 14.
Come on.
It is turned as clay to the seal.
He done put his signet ring on, and he done formed the earth. Come on.
And they stand as a garment.
And they stand as what?
And they stand as a garment.
The mountains, valleys, and oceans and everything, they stand as a garment. That meant they was made in a particular way, and it was beautiful. They was a garment. The earth is a garment. And he said he is turned the clay to seal. That go that word stamp right there. He stamped. That's what you do with that signet ring. You stamp that clay and left a signet on that thing, man. Revelations chapter 20, verse 9 now. I want you to read the first King James first.
The book of Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 9 out of the King James Version.
Uh-huh.
And they went up on the breadth of the earth.
They went up on the what?
And they went up on the breadth of the earth.
Pay attention to that word right there. I'm finna break that word down. Come on.
And compassed the camp of the saints about.
They compass the saints. They go that word compass, letting you know that means to encircle, to make you know that I know what I was talking about. When he compassed the water with bounds, the bottom is round, the top is round. He bowled the heavens. It go around the image of a glass upside down in the middle of the firmament, which he said I put two beams and he separated them things. I took y'all way through that story just then. Come on.
And the beloved city.
And the what?
And the beloved city.
Uh-huh.
And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them.
Now we're going into that word. Go back and read it again.
And they went up on the breadth of the earth.
We're going to stop right there. Breadth of the earth. When you look that up in the Strong's, it means a Latin word that means plateaus. When you look up that word plateaus, it means plain. Plain. Ain't that the same thing as a plate? Don't they call it an airplane, meaning it flies in the air over a fat plain earth? Ain't this both there? We finna read that one right there. Come on.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 9.
To let you know I know what I was talking about.
Reading out of the New King James Version.
Uh-huh.
They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them.
That's that blue Bible. I need one of them. Let me look at one of these. I need one of them NIV Bibles. Because it read the same way right there. I thought it was going to read different right there. Shalaka, y'all bear with me. 20 and what? It said the same thing. I need one of them Bibles right there, brother. Not that one on the top of the red one. Give me one of them blue ones or one of them ones at the bottom. I'm going to see if they're word in there. If not, I had wrote it down. What that is, King James. There's not anything outside of King James. That's King James right there. Give me that one on the very bottom down there.
King James.
Give me that one right there. Yeah. This one right here. Let me look at that thing real fast, bro. Okay. So you know I finna ask you. Shalaki, everybody. This one don't even got it right here. I'm going to tell you what it read in these other Bibles. And then I have one in the house that I read it, and I should have bought it out the house. It read, and they came upon the broad plain of the earth. That's what they did. The broad plain, the books teach us that the earth is flat, but we don't know how to put the words together. But I just went through there again. If you look up the word, what it was, breath, right there means a Latin word that means plateaus. Plateaus. Spell it for him. P-L.
I want to spell breath.
Breath.
B-R-E-A-D-T-H.
But when you look it up, it's going to mean a Latin word that means plateaus. P-L-A-T-O-S. It means plain. So the Bible been rewrote and stuff. You know, they done turned these words and stuff so we wouldn't know that thing. So they could implement their belief system and keep us in oppression. But it's telling us that the earth was a flat plain in the Bible. Colossians chapter 1 verse 9.
The book of Colossians chapter 1 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
For this cause.
For what?
For this cause.
Come on.
We also. Shalaki. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding.
Read it one more time for him, Mark.
The book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 9. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding.
That's what we do here at Judah Knights of Israel, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Today's title again was The Flat Earth in Operations. To let you know that the sun is not sitting still, how we've been taught that it is the one moving, that the moon is the one moving, and the earth sits still. We gave you a few indications of how it was built and stuff. I went into the Bible and brought out the scriptures again. If a square, the bottom of the house is square, the top of it is square. We only built a triangle roof to keep the water off that thing. The Most High ain't worried about that thing, so he didn't need a roof on that thing. So he told you that the bottom was he compassed the waters, and he walks in the circuit of heaven. So that meant that the walls of that thing had to be round too, because the foundation was round, the top is also round. He gave it and put it on. He said, shake off the people on that thing. You couldn't grab a real big round garbage can with no handles. So the handles was the square platform that sat at the bottom. You understand that thing? It would be something like this right here, everybody. It would be something like this, but without the incline, because if my hand couldn't go around it, I couldn't hold that thing. So now, you know, he put that on there, so now you can be picked up and moved around, people. It's simple. It's not hard. Again, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Like, comment, share. Tell a friend. Invite people to the group. Let's grow, build up this nation through Yahweh, Bahashem, or Makiyat Yahweh Shai. And with that, from Judah Knights of Israel, the Lion's Den, we say shalom.
Shalom.